It's a theatre company, and they've got a job for a historian. They're going to write a play about the hall where they're based. It's Tudor, and they're looking for someone to do the research for them.
And where are they based?
Ipswich.
What?
Yeah, I know.
When is it?
It'll be over the next few months if I get it.
But you can't do it because you're coming to America with me.
I can't work there. This is what I've always wanted to do.
Are you joking? What are you on about? It's about America.
It's just... I need to give it a go. You know I want to be a historian.
It's not a job.
Yes, it is. If I can get published.
It's just a degree. You're supposed to get a job doing something else.
I don't want to do anything else.
Look, I've told you. You don't need to work. I'm being paid a packet. You'll have loads to do in New York. You'll be really busy. There's lots of shops.
Oh.
And look, I've told you already. You need to get your eyes lasered or something. You look terrible in those glasses.
Hi, you hear about this history thing?
Yes.
Come in then. As you can see, it's quite old, but that's all I can tell you.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's alright. I better take you upstairs and meet the bosses.
Okay.
I'm a volunteer here. Do a little bit of everything. Acting, painting, building sets. And this is Ken.
Oh.
Carefully make way on you.
Oh.
Welcome to Red Rose, Jen. There's your tea.
Basically, we loved your application, but it's not up to us.
It's a bit unusual, but you've got 4 days to research the hall. And then on Friday, you've got to present what you've got to the panel.
And who'll be on the panel? Mike, you'll be on the panel.
We will be, plus a couple of our volunteers and Daniel Binder.
That's the problem.
He's a bit of a tough nut to crack.
He knows everything about local history and is really in with the funders.
He's the one that you've really got to convince.
What's he like?
You'll see.
This is the haunted bit.
So they say. And that's our your office for the week.
It's great.
Give us a shout if you need anything.
Thanks.
And if you hear any tapping noises in the halls, it's a squirrel.
What do you think? She seems lovely. But that's what you said about the other two.
If she can't convince him on Friday, that's it. We'll lose the funding.
Well, what do you think to her chances?
But non-existent.
I'm really sorry. I didn't realise anyone was in here. Nice outfit.
I humbly beg your pardon, madam.
Cool.
Methinks rather the air is temperate for the season.
Oh. Yeah. Well, sorry to disturb you. Method actors.
Hiya.
You right?
So, what production are you rehearsing at the moment?
We are actually.
Aren't you?
No. Still clearing up from Theatre in the Forest this year.
Oh. Sulyard. The guy who first built the house was called Andrew Sulyard, and he was born in 1463. But he lived till he was 79, which is ancient for a Tudor, and left the house to his nephew, John. Will you calm down? It's better. This is interesting. This is about Mary I. John Sulyard was one of the nobles who went to protect Mary when she took refuge in Framlingham Castle at the time when Lady Jane Grey was pronounced Queen. So they were big-time Catholics and up there with royalty. So that's why they became recusants when Elizabeth and the Protestants took over. I'm going mad. There's nothing there. Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Please accept my apologies, my lady, for interrupting your endeavours.
Who are you?
Edward Sulyard, your humble servant.
You? How did you?
Well, it is my house.
Was.
So you believe in me?
Are you a ghost?
How dare you?
Sorry.
I have always remained faithful to the true religion, and my soul is enjoying eternal peace with my one true saviour.
But...
Let's just say I'm here to help.
The documents you ordered from the archive have arrived in the post.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yes.
How's it going?
Great.
What are they for?
Lamps to light the garden. It was a pleasure garden, looking out over the parkland to the river.
Very nice.
Unless...
What?
Maybe it's a far-fetched idea, but maybe they were intended for Catholic shrines.
Do you think?
The Sulyards were Catholics. They were recusants. They paid thousands of pounds in fines not to attend the Protestant church services. No one even thinks about that sort of thing nowadays.
They do in Glasgow.
Do they?
Yeah. Where I grew up, Catholics, Protestants never mix. And it will never change.
They did here. Have you ever heard of the Ipswich martyrs?
No.
9 Protestants burnt at the stake in the 1550s in Ipswich.
Really?
On the Cornhill.
In the town centre?
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
So tell me about Frances.
My wife?
Was she?
Second wife.
But were you really married to her?
Do you allude to a case of libel that was maliciously brought against me?
In 1585.
How dare you?
I know that she was 10 years younger than you. And in 1572, she had married a man called William Bapthorpe, but there's no record of when he died. And in 1582, there is a dowry bond for money to be paid for the marriage of Edward Sulyard to Frances Bapthorpe, which suggests that you weren't married to her in 1580 when your daughter was born.
Are you okay?
Yes. Just Skyping.
These affairs are no concern of yours.
Loosen up. I just want to get to know what made you tick. What was going on with you and Frances? Did you love her? Was it all a big mistake?
My first marriage ended so suddenly.
She died in childbirth.
In childbed.
Whatever. Sorry. Go on.
Anne never recovered from the birth of our daughter.
And the boys were only 5 and 6 years old. I can't imagine what that must have been like for you. And for the children.
There were dark days.
Go!
What a horrific time to live. We don't know how lucky we are.
You?
Well,
Just think. This very place 450 years ago was more beautiful than in your time. The children ran from the house and swam in the river in the summer. And there were more flowers. Where are the flowers? It is possible to miss the tranquility.
yes. And I guess there wasn't really any crime around here.
On the contrary, my father spent much of his time as a member of Parliament dealing with the notorious highwayman.
Oh, how romantic!
Romantic? What an astonishing idea. So Red Rose Chain will produce a play about my life.
I don't know. If all goes well, they might do. It would be amazing, wouldn't it? Just think, they'd have to find an actor to play the part of you.
Yes, I know what a play is, Emily.
Of course.
In fact, I went to the theatre in London once. Rather diverting.
The theatre? What did you go to see?
I don't recall the name. It was about the Prince of Denmark, I believe.
Who wrote it?
I can't remember. Charge! Let us fight the Vespasians like for the day of Ganymede! Ow!
Graceful.
Thank you. What are those?
My glasses.
My word, I can see like never before. But you should keep them. They look much more fair on you.
Do you like them?
Very becoming.
So, Emily, where are we going?
Weatherden.
I've got an info sheet about it.
It was built by Edward's great-grandfather, and there's a monument to the Sulyards there.
That sounds exciting.
You really should get out more often.
This is incredible. Is this magical, Emily? Pox on those heretics!
I thought you'd like to see it all again.
Did you see the desecration on our monument?
Don't take it personally.
What?
Sorry. That was a stupid thing to say.
But they will pay on the day of judgment.
That's a bit fire and brimstone.
Emily, can we go back to the van for a sandwich now, okay?
Yeah, great. Were you there? As a teenage boy? Did you see them burn to death? Did you cheer? Did you think, yeah, good, serves them right?
I was persecuted in everything I did for my true faith.
Yes, but they didn't send you to your death, Edward. Elizabeth I had no wish for a window into men's souls.
Well, she destroyed countless souls by leading her country in heresy, by rejecting the authority of His Eminence the Pope in Rome.
I like you, Edward, but I can't get over this. And if you were there, what did it do to you as a teenage boy? Did you live your life in the shadow of these Ipswich martyrs?
Martyrs? So you too, Emily, are a heretic. You too, I see, have rejected the one true church.
Oh, grow up!
You know nothing of my time.
Look around you! Nobody cares anymore! You wasted your life, Edward! For nothing!
Thank you, everybody. Do you want to sit down? Well, that was excellent, wasn't it? Excellent, Daniel. Yes. Okay. I mean, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask? Yes. Yeah. We could have questions now. Thank you.
So, what exactly are your sources?
The Staffordshire Archive, the Ipswich Record Office, John Blatchley, and the house itself.
Emily's really entered into the spirit of the company. We've been on research trips involving the volunteers, drama workshops.
Drama's all very well, I'm sure, but we can't just invent the past, you know. It can't just be what we want it to be.
I've tried to shed light on the facts by bringing the people to life. That's how I think we can inspire people about history.
And this Edward Sulyard, from what I can see, isn't he just a bag of contradictions? Where's the academic basis for what you're saying?
It's...
Well?
I've done my best.
And that's it?
Yes.
Well, we're sending out an official response tomorrow, but it won't come as any surprise when I say that once again I'm greatly disappointed.
When I was 13 years old, my father decided I was old enough to accompany him on a mission of the utmost importance.
When Edward Sulyard was 13 years old, his father decided he was old enough to accompany him on a mission of the utmost... an important mission. They set off at dusk and rode hard for several hours to Framlingham. It was a secret mission. The year was 1553, and Lady Jane Grey had just been pronounced Queen. When they arrived at Framlingham, they were received in the dead of night at the castle, and were soon ushered into the presence of a great lady, Mary, the daughter of Henry VIII.
Bloody Mary.
Yes. She was to become Bloody Mary, a queen reviled and hated for her persecution of Protestant believers, and responsible for the burning of the 9 Ipswich martyrs. But to Edward Sulyard, barely more than a child, she would always remain so much more than that. She noticed him. She must have seen how young he was, and she smiled on the boy and personally thanked him for his support in her hour of need. There is still a lot more research to be done, but slowly I've been building up an impression of a life lived in an extraordinary time. An adolescence in the shadow of burnings, torture and instability. And an adult life restricted at every turn by a religious conviction which had become illegal. Seeing those Protestants die for their beliefs meant that Edward could never betray his own convictions, and especially not for the sake of a fine. I believe that understanding Edward can begin to help us to understand the complexities of 16th century Ipswich, and to begin to imagine something of the stories Gippeswyk Hall could tell. If only it could talk.
I can see that some of your research clearly has merit. And on this occasion, I'm happy to give you my seal of approval.
Yes! Edward! Edward!
Lead me to the place where the wildflowers blow, on the grassy bank by the old railway line. Alone in this busy world, I feel out of place. I'm searching for something lost, but there's nothing left to find. Take me away from here, my old friend and my guide. I'm not standing here alone in this old place. You're by my side and on my mind, and I've seen your light passing me by. Heaven forbid you're lost in time. Hold on to the silence like it's all you have. Days will come and go, but your smile stays the same. I can hear you on the wind, gusting through my window. Your absence stands accused, 'cause there's no one here to blame. Take me away from here, my old friend and my guide. I'm not standing here alone in this old world. You're by my side, you're on my mind, and I've seen your light passing me by. Heaven forbid you're lost in time. Place where the wildflowers blow, on the grassy bank by the old railway line. I sense that you're there, whistling with the wind. Heaven forbid your memories lost in time, just like mine.